Florida Sport Fishing TV presents Captain Mike's Rigging Station, powered by Mercury Marine.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Captain Mike's Rigging Station. Guys, I'm getting ready for a couple of daytime swordfish courses in the coming week, and I wanted to just share with you everything that's involved with prepping our SeaHunter 41 for an offshore day of daytime sword fishing. So check it out. Okay, look, first and foremost, daytime sword fishing, the most technical of all fisheries. I'm telling you right now, it is so incredibly challenging to truly understand what is happening with your bait nearly 2,000 feet below the surface, okay? Fishing with upwards of 10, 12 pounds of lead, a long 150-foot leader. It's just an amazing experience with so many different moving parts. And of course, one of the most challenging factors is the current. We're dealing with an environment where we have 3 to 5 knots of current. So imagine the boat is moving at a fast walk, a really, really fast walk, and you're really just trying to present that bait to one fish at a time. Absolutely incredible. I can't stress how important it is that you're dialed into the entire system. Otherwise, just don't do it. It's going to be a frustrating experience if you're not truly prepared for it, and you're probably never going to want to do it again. So I recommend fishing with somebody who's an experienced daytime sword fisherman. Really get that bug before you go out and make these huge investments, because there's a lot to this, especially when you're fishing multiple rods. We're fishing 2 baits, 2 rods, okay? So understand that, and that's what we're gonna talk about here. Lot to go over, so stick around here real quick, pay attention. 41-foot SeaHunter, big catamaran. We're typically fishing off the port side. If the wind is from anywhere in this direction, okay, we're gonna be fishing on this side. If the wind is from this direction, then we will be fishing on the starboard side, because it's gonna push the boat away from the lines. But for the vast majority of the time, we're on the port side of the boat. This really requires a team. Understand that. There's a guy at the wheel who's just as important as the guy who's on the rod. It's a team effort. And if you're fishing multiple lines, I recommend at least 3 guys. There's no question about that. Can you do it alone? There's certainly a lot of guys who go out there and swordfish with 1 rod, 1 line on their own. You could do it. Dangerous, risky, too many things can go wrong. Come on, take somebody sword fishing with you, for the love of God. All right, so what are the things that we do? First and foremost, couple of spinning outfits right there, because we're going to be in dolphin territory. And even though I'm sword fishing, I'm 30 miles off the beach. If a big cow or a bull swims up next to the boat, I don't want to miss that opportunity. So I don't bring a lot of other gear, but certainly a couple of spinners rigged and ready just in case a big dolphin pops up. Very common offshore. The boat itself, I have to tell you, a lot of what I did was designed for daytime sword fishing. A lot of different factors, little things that make a huge difference. The transom door with the swim platform, we can bring our swordfish in right in between the engines. Okay, drag a big swordfish right up in between those engines. Really makes it super simple rather than bringing a fish up over the rail. Okay, rod holder configuration. This perhaps, I don't want to say is the most important part, but is incredibly important. Jump aboard, let me show you what I mean. Remember, we're fishing 2 lines. So for starters, this is our buoy rod. This is where we're gonna fish our buoy, and we're gonna talk a lot about this, but it's a stationary position, okay? We don't fight fish from this position. The rod is right here. If we get a bite, we hook a fish on our buoy rod, it then moves up here to the swivel mount, where we're primarily fishing and always fishing our tip line, okay? This is the rod right here that's gonna be fishing straight off the tip, no buoy. The line's gonna be up here in front of the boat. Now, it's vital that this swivel mount holder, first and foremost, swivel mount, You could see that right there. The rod moves in every direction, okay? Has a backing plate, and it's built to withstand the rigors of this sort of tackle hooked into a fish that could be 500 plus pounds. So a lot goes into rod holder configuration. Placement, super important. When I'm at the wheel, I need to be able to see this rod tip at all times. I need to know exactly what's happening with that rod tip. So it's no coincidence that this rod is right here. You could also see what a perfect position it is, where I can control the entire rod and reel at a absolutely perfect height, okay? And even when there's a crew member who's monitoring this or working this and I'm at the helm, I still have clear visibility. Take that into consideration when you're setting up your boat. Where are you standing? What are the angles? How can you see that rod tip from every angle? Like I said, none of this is an accident, okay?
Chaos. Gear matters.
And we got him, baby. We got him. Oh, what a slob. That's what I'm talking about, baby, right there. What a stud. That right there, baby, is deep dropping.
Chaos. Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
Buying or selling anywhere in the Florida Keys, navigating the real estate waters is smooth sailing with Nate at the helm. He actually helped me find my home. Nate's also a family guy and has a clear understanding of coastal living. Nate also has first-hand experience in primary residences, second homes, investment properties, and even new construction. And when it comes to buying or selling in the Florida Keys, Nate is your guy.
Buying or selling property anywhere in the Florida Keys, you have to work with someone you trust. I helped Mike, and I can help you.
A lot of guys will go out there, they'll fish one rod. We're fishing two, as I mentioned to you before. This is going to be our tip rod. Both of our outfits are exactly the same. These are Chaos Swordfish rods rated for 80 to 100 pound class. Okay, that's what they are, matched to Tiagra 80s with the Hooker electric auto stops, the Gen 2. So these are just incredible reels. I prefer these over the LPs. Why? Number one, I have a handle I could crank. So in the event that I lose power, I have a backup. That's number one. More importantly, there's times we want to crank on the fish. You know what I like to do? I use the electric feature to bring a fish up all the way to the lead. Once we unclip that lead, we then go manual, and now you fight the fish. And everybody who's been daytime sword fishing knows that's when the fight starts, when you clip that lead off. Both outfits are identical except the line, the diamond braid. I'm fishing 65-pound diamond braid on my tip rod. Little bit more sensitive, little bit thinner, allows me to fish a little bit less weight, and I can monitor what's happening here a little bit better. On my buoy rod back here, I'm fishing 80-pound line. Why? What's the difference? Well, on the buoy rod, I have no control of anything that's happening. I could fish 200-pound line. It almost doesn't matter. And what do I mean by a buoy rod? Let me explain a little bit further. As we set our tip rod, we also set another bait way out behind the boat, and on the spool itself is a buoy bridle where we attach a buoy, just like this, as you can see. It's nothing but a little flag on a float. It has a little clip, and this clips right to the line, and it acts as basically a bobber, and it suspends our bait at a certain depth off the bottom. So if we're fishing, for example, 1,800 feet of water, my tip rod, I might be working on presenting that bait in the bottom 100 feet of the water column, just off the bottom. Maybe 50 revs off the bottom. I can move it up and down a little bit, but I want to keep that bait very close to the bottom. With my buoy rod, I want that bait suspended. So there could be a buoy bridle position at 1,500 feet, just as an example. That's an ideal depth. So at 1,500 feet down, we clip on the buoy and we let the buoy float out. Work with me here. This is very easy to understand. We have current moving in this direction. The boat is headed into the current right here. I'm always headed into the current. So the current is going to float our bobber, our glorified bobber, our float, way out there. 100 yards, okay, 100 yards out is perfect. This is now floating, it's bobbing, just like this in the water column, because this is clipped to the line, and a 10-pound lead, an 8-pound lead, whatever it is that you're using, has all of that force is keeping this buoy bobbing. The buoy falls over, you look back there and that buoy is on its side, you're hooked up. Swordfish ate the bait, swimming up toward the surface. I have no control on if I hook that fish or not, okay? So I can get away with fishing slightly heavier line. 2 buoys, and you're gonna notice a lot of what we talk about is redundant, it's dual, it's twins, it's a backup of everything. Let me tell you, when you're out sword fishing, the things that you don't think are gonna happen, happen. And it's not uncommon to, you know, potentially lose a buoy, bust a line, get tangled. I don't know, so many different things can happen, okay? I'm not even gonna list them all. And you're 30 plus miles sometimes off the beach, depending on where you're fishing, 25 to 30 miles generally, and in some areas, 100 miles, okay? Again, depending on where you're fishing. So I would highly recommend that you have extra of everything. Don't go out there with one rod, one rig, one buoy, whatever it is, and think you're going to be successful. And that also relates to all of our tackle, okay? I bring a case, I've got a whole bunch of lights. These are the lights that we use, that we attach, okay, right to our swordfish. We put 3 lights on every rig, okay? I bring plenty of baits, by the way. How many? 10 rig baits. Why? Look, you may go out there and drop one rigged bait right to the bottom, get bit, catch a 250-pounder, and come home and never need another bait. Absolutely, it happens. Or you can drop a bait to the bottom, the squid destroy it. You drop another bait to the bottom, a shark beats it up. You drop another bait to the bottom, a swordfish whacks it 3 or 4 times and rips the bait apart. And if you're fishing 2 rods, remember, you're gonna need that backup, you're gonna need that bait. So it's always a good idea to go out there with 10 baits and different baits. I'll bring eels, bonitas, squid tentacles, you know, whatever it is, I like to carry a variety of different baits.
For over 80 years, Furuno Innovations have helped more fishermen find and catch more fish than any other brand. And we're raising the bar again with Navnet TZ Touch 3's new PVG and Fish It Drifted technologies. Build your own 3-dimensional shaded relief charts to find trophy fish others have missed. Perform accurate drifts the first time, every time. Be the one everyone follows. When you're serious about fishing, lead the way and get serious with Furuno.
The weather is beautiful and the fishing is great. Captain Pips has the largest rental boat fleet in the Keys, including new twin-engine center consoles. 5 locations, 150 boats ready to fish and cruise. And we deliver. Stay and play in a fully appointed cottage or catch the sunset off your very own Aqua Lodge. For the best hassle-free vacation the entire family will enjoy, no one does the Florida Keys better than Captain Pips. Mention Florida Sport Fishing and receive 10% off your entire stay.
Seeing Zack attack with my own eyes, I'll never guys, I'm Captain Mike and welcome to my rigging station. You've asked over and over, here's the answer. Dubro fishing. 4 different styles of rod and reel holder mounts for every application. Their ingenious lure and leader keeper system is perfect, either permanently mounted or portable. It keeps everything I need right at my fingertips so I could focus on staying hooked up. Listen, I count on Dubro products, so should you. Check out their full line of innovative gear at dubrofishing.com. Back to our tackle. In addition to the lights, look, tools, clips, crimps, extra harpoon dart, crimps, big swivels, wind-on leaders, and a lot of wind-on leaders. The extra swordfish bridles, okay, right here, so we can rig these up at any time. Lighter leaders. We have more wind-on leaders, okay, right here. 250-pound test, 250, 250. Gloves for wiring and handling big fish. These are big fish with a sharp bill. Guys, look, don't take this lightly. This is not kids' play here, right? Daytime sword fishing is incredibly technical, and it could be incredibly dangerous. You're talking about a fish that's equipped with a 6-foot sword, and it's not happy. It's not happy. When that fish is right next to the boat, don't do this. Don't stick your head over the side of that gunnel because you may get whacked right in the side of the face. So make sure you keep your head over here until that fish is really secured, okay? So once again, plenty of tackle, leads. I carry a Yeti bucket with a lead insert from boatoutfitters.com. I carry all of my sash weights, plenty of extra clips, plugs. Okay, I've got my boat outfitted, my SeaHunter 41, with 2 outlets on the starboard side, 2 outlets on the port side. It's a duplication because remember what I said earlier, I'm not certain what side of the boat I'm going to be fishing on. And look, I know there's a lot that goes into this. There really, really is. But that's because you're targeting the gladiator. You're targeting the baddest fish in the ocean in an incredible depth, with incredible challenges all against you. You know, we're not going to sit here and get into the nitty-gritty of how to detect a swordfish bite or, you know, things like that, because this is more about boat prep, and I want to show you everything that's involved before we even leave the dock, before we even get out there. Once we're out there and we set the spread and we start fishing, well, that's another episode altogether. But this is before we ever even leave the dock. And some things go without saying. Come on, guys. Aboard my 41 SeaHunter, and whatever boat you're in, safety has to be your #1 priority. I carry all of my safety gear, plenty of fuel. You don't know, trust me when I tell you, you don't know when you're gonna hook that monster, 500-600 pounds, okay? That battle could take you hours and well into the night. So you better be prepared for what you least expect could happen, okay? And that means a lot of fuel. You may end up 30 miles away from where you started. I know that seems like an exaggeration, but it's not. Ask the guys that have battled these big nickels, these big giant swordfish. Sometimes that fight goes on for so long and you end up much further away than you anticipated. So be ready for everything, okay? So our tackle's ready. I want to mention also that we have our Chaos rods equipped with the Winthrop butts, the adjustable butts. This is a huge benefit, okay, to be able to adjust that butt, okay, for easy transport, easy fishing. Look at this. I can put that rod wherever I want it, and I have numerous positions where I can lock it into place. Okay, it makes it very easy. If I don't like the angle of that rod and I feel like I would see the bites a little bit better by bringing it up a little higher, I have the ability to do that. So when you're spooling these reels, if you don't have them done professionally and you decide to do it yourself, a quick pointer here. Avoid the level wind for at least 2/3 of the way. Don't use the level wind to fill the reel, okay, until you're at least 2/3 of the way full. Okay? Just take my word for it. It's going to give you an all-around better situation and a better fishing experience with your reel. Now, this is our tackle. We've talked about all of the terminal gear, how important it is to have backups of everything, have plenty of baits rigged and ready to go. We've talked about rod holder position. And again, this is a system. Nothing here is random. Okay, every time I swordfish, this is where the rods go, right here. There's no question. And understand this, we hook a fish on the tip rod and our buoy rod is out. We'll leave that buoy rod out. We'll continue and we'll fight this tip rod and we'll try and leave that buoy rod out. These hooker electrics in these outfits are light enough where you could unplug it and literally walk around the boat when you're doing the circles. You understand what I'm saying, to close the deal. Okay. However, if we hook a fish on the buoy rod and our tip rod is down, we'll bring this up first. That fish is hooked. There's nothing you can do about it. The buoy's laying on its side. There's a lot of pressure on that fish to keep that hook embedded with that weight. There's nothing we can do about it. We have time to reel in our tip rod. Once the tip rod is up, out of the way, we move this rod. We then take our buoy rod and we'll put it in this position.
Amongst cats, there are many lions, but only one rules the pride. SeaHunter CTS. Carbon Kevlar construction. Optimum stability. Decisive performance. SeaHunter boats. Factory direct sales. Factory direct service. #1 in owner experience. Schedule a zero obligation sea trial and feel the difference.
Don't even lift and pump, just reel. Just reel. All right, come on, somebody get in there, crank. Got him. We got him. You ready, nice? You got him. Get him in the boat, ready? Oh! Keep an eye to your rod. Never jeopardize losing a rod, ever. When I'm at the helm right here and I'm going to slide over here, if I'm not the guy at the wheel or whoever's at the helm, because there's somebody at the wheel doing this the entire time, just literally controlling the boat, doing the circles, following the fish, trying to close this deal, okay, it's imperative that they have that clear line of sight. Okay. And I should also mention, when we retrieve that buoy, I don't want to go all over the place, but this is an important fact. When we retrieve the buoy and we move that rod into the fish fighting position, I try not to drag the buoy back to the boat. I don't want to just put the reel in gear. There's a tremendous amount of pressure already on that line. And if you put even more, it's susceptible to damage. So try and maneuver the boat to the buoy, okay? Back the boat up to the buoy and then unclip the buoy, obviously, do it in a controlled fashion. Now, here we are, we've hooked up, we fought the fish, he's coming up to the boat, she's getting close, you're avoiding that fish getting you in the motors, because trust me, every one of them runs right toward the motors. So the boat is doing what? Actual counterclockwise circles, right? The boat is constantly going in a counterclockwise circle across the board. The fish is on this side. The rod does not come out of that rod holder. So if that fish comes toward the engines, the boat operator, who's ever at the wheel, needs to turn to the left. That's when you know somebody's hooked up, when you're out there swording and you see them going in circles. We all know that, right? How exciting is that? So here it is. Fish is tired, you're off the lead, you fought that fish, comes up next to the boat, time to close the deal for good. You need the right hardware. Gaffs, really important. I carry, in addition to my normal regular gaffs that we use on a regular basis, couple of swordfish gaffs. I built them a little bit longer, a little bit beefier, as you can see, and with a big hook. We carry two of these, a 3-inch and a 4-inch hook. This gives me the ability to reach out even from up here. This is way high up here on this SeaHunter 41. Massive cat. You're way up above the water. I need the extra distance to reach out and stick a fish, okay? And certainly from the back makes it very easy. These are Merida gaffs. They're absolutely awesome. And I'll tell you what, I cannot stress how important having the right gaffs are, because remember, there's times you're not going to harpoon a fish. That fish could be right up next to the boat, and you can reach out and gaff it. It happens a lot. Speaking of harpoons, there it is. Once again, two. We have two of everything on the boat. Here it is. It's rigged and ready. The dart's in position. I carry extra darts. I carry 2 baskets. Check it out. Right here, rigged, ready to go. When I need to throw a harpoon, we simply clip the line right to the bottom, and that harpoon is ready to throw. And understand this, look, don't take this thing and think you're some javelin, you know, I'm gonna throw this way out there, you know, like you see in the movies. No, grab the back of it, okay, back here, and drive it through the water into that fish, okay? That's all you need to do. Carry 2 of these, because you dart a big fish, you hook it to the buoy, that fish takes off, you may need to put another dart in the same fish, or maybe you get a double. So I can't stress enough, once again, how important it is to have backups of everything. There's no more exciting fishing than daytime sword fishing. It is absolutely epic. It's heart-stopping. Yes, you have long periods of boredom, absolutely. Some people don't understand when you're looking at that rod tip for hours, just waiting for that one bite. Is it boring? It might be boring to some people. For the true guys, you know, the true fishermen that love sword fishing, it's the most exciting thing in the world, because you know at any moment you could see and detect that bite, which could lead to an incredible fish, okay? Really, really incredible. But take nothing for granted, because I'm telling you, I don't know if there's any more unforgiving fishery as well. It could be the most rewarding fishery in the world, but any mistake, they're going to exploit it. You're going to get hung in the bottom, you're going to lose rigs. Your drag isn't set properly, you're going to lose fish, you're going to lose tackle. If your wiring on your boat isn't done properly, you're going to lose power, and your reel is going to be, you know, dead. So many different things can go wrong. So check every single detail, and that's why I stress, fish with somebody who's an experienced daytime sword fisherman before you go out on your own. Learn the ropes, and then from that point, you can dial in the system yourself. And finally, guys, as a reminder, check out Florida Sport Fishing TV Plus, okay, our streaming platform. There are videos about sword fishing on there that are going to help you get dialed in. The nighttime game is awesome, but this daytime fishery, I'll tell you what, this is something else.